Hi.
When you see my mom, will you tell her that I went out to take care of some business?
Of course. Anything else?
Yeah, after you scrub the kitchen, would you clean out the garage and, do something about your appearance? Dress up a bit.
I'll try, sir.
Thanks. Good night. Get back upstairs.
Hey!
Dr. Phillips is in the driveway.
So?
So you gotta make your big
Come on,
entrance.
Peter.
You gotta do this thing right, okay? Hey, by the way, you look great.
Oh, you noticed?
Yeah. You ought to be dead not to.
Yeah, you know how close you came.
Now listen, when I tell you to come down, take your time, all right?
Why don't I just recite the Gettysburg Address to myself?
Perfect. That'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too bad we don't have an orchestra on a spotlight.
Well, give me time on these things. I'll arrange stuff for you. Dr. Phillips, hey, this is a surprise. It really is.
Well, didn't your mother mention we were going to the museum auction tonight?
I think she did mention that. Yeah. Well, let me see if she's ready, okay?
I think she is.
Thank you, Eric.
Sure. Oh, I thought you were going to bring Jimmy and Alicia when you came.
Oh, I was, but Jane and Carla were running a little late, so they thought they'd drop them off instead.
Ready for my grand entrance?
Oh, wait a minute, Mom. Mrs. Redland. Now, she has spent over 2 hours in there. Whatever she looks like, tell her she looks beautiful and glorious and just flatter her.
All right, sweetheart.
Okay, Mom.
Ta-da!
Wow.
Oh, you look absolutely gorgeous, Mary.
Thank you very much. I'd like to especially thank my son, Master Eric Mason, because without him, this would not have been possible. Yes, he indeed performed above the call of duty by valiantly fixing his own dinner and then even eating it. Do you believe that? And by the way, I did not take over 2 hours to get ready.
Whoops. Okay, I think I better hang this up.
Oh, very good idea, yes.
Boy, Mom, if the guys at school could see you right now.
I think that may be one of the nicest compliments I've ever had.
And that's not the end of it, sweetheart. Hey, turn around. Oh, now what time did you say that pumpkin was coming?
Now, Charles, I certainly wouldn't tell you how to spend your money.
Well, I can't tell you how much your approval means to me.
But I will tell you this, as I've told you before. With all the research I've done, there's no indication whatsoever that the Dar es Salaam is worth more than $25,000.
Jeremy, I didn't get to where I am today without taking a few risks. And incidentally, I take very few risks where the payoff is not pretty much assured. Now, I can't really say for certain that I'm going to make a run at buying the Dar es Salaam Bible. But I just can't get over the feeling that some of these rumors are true. And if they are true, the payoff could be very substantial.
Well, far be it from me to interfere, Mr. Carpenter.
Good.
Here we go, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I was just listening to the news.
Mm-hmm.
They certainly are making a fuss over the princess being here in Kingsley.
Did they say anything about the auction?
Oh, yes, they did. They said it's going to be quite an event, especially with her being there.
Good. Thank you, Mrs. Lucas. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Have a pleasant evening.
You know, it really gets me that this so-called princess and her entourage can get away with a theft and an attempted murder because of diplomatic immunity.
Jeremy, let's not go through all that again. I, for one, am delighted that she's in Kingsley, giving us the kind of publicity about this event that we couldn't possibly buy. The only thing that I do get a little angry at myself at was not being smart enough to buy the Bible when Dave Phillips first presented it to us. Knowing now how much the princess wants the Bible, I could have turned right around and sold it to her and realized a handsome profit.
Well, at least the handsome profit will be going for a good cause. Dr. Phillips and the clinic will be getting a lot more than they expected from the publicity of this.
We shall see.
Here, let me get that for you, George.
No. Dar es Salaam Bible is my responsibility until it's officially turned over to the auctioneer. However, we've got to hurry because we have to make a stop.
You look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, I guess I've done all I can here, so if you'll excuse me.
Yeah, good.
I didn't think you'd mind.
Where are you going?
Gotta go see Courtney.
Courtney?
Yeah. You got it.
One of these days, he's going to do something I actually understand.
I wouldn't count on it.
Well, this move is beyond me.
Well, maybe I can help. He came by the clinic earlier to talk to me. Well, he actually came to see Ben, but Ben wasn't there. He mentioned something about Courtney not having to, well, marry whoever she was engaged to.
Oh, Vaughn Sumner. You mean this whole thing has to do with Courtney's mother being transferred to a less expensive nursing home?
Oh, so you do know something about that?
No, not really. Tell you the truth, I really don't mind being kept in the dark on this one. So I will relieve you of the burden of telling me. But thank you for talking to him, though. I'm sure he appreciated it.
Well, it was my pleasure. I hope you don't think that was too forward of me.
And if I do?
Well, it's too late to take it back. And, I can't promise that it won't happen again.
Well, you don't hear me complaining, so, I think it'd be all right.
Good. Shall we? Go, I mean.
Oh, I'm glad you qualified that.
Yes, me too. I'll get your coat.
Okay.
Which one?
I don't know. I'm torn between the fur wrap and the trench coat.
Oh, well then, trench coat.
Oh, good choice.
Wrong. There you go.
Thank you.
Shall we?
Let's go.
Here we go, sir.
Oh, thank you.
There we are. Yes?
Hello again. Is Courtney here?
No, she isn't.
Is her father?
Her father left strict instructions not to be disturbed.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you tell him who's here, he might change his mind.
I don't think so, young man. Good night.
Please.
Would you please leave this house, or do I have to...
Well, deja vu. I'll handle it, Mrs. Lucas.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. What this house needs is a good bouncer. Now, why don't you be a nice young man and leave as requested?
Because you and I have a lot to talk about.
All right.
Ione, even under the best of circumstances, I'm not sure I like the idea of Jeremy living in this building. Even though, of course, he's nice and everything.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it, so why don't you just try and make the best of it?
Which at this point, I guess, means avoiding him. Ah, that must be my father now. Listen, Ione, are you certain you can handle all of this tonight?
Is that a serious question?
Forget I asked, okay?
No.
Hello. You look beautiful, Mary.
Oh, Jeremy,
Miriam, the man just paid you a compliment.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. You look very handsome yourself.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Hello, Miss Redlin.
Jeremy?
Well, are you ready?
Oh, yes, I'm ready, but my father's coming by to pick me up.
Oh, no, he's down in the car. We're going to all go together.
Oh,
Didn't he tell you?
No, he didn't, but then I guess that doesn't really surprise me, so. Eric, honey, I'm leaving. And Daddy mentioned something about a late supper after the auction, so if we decide on that, I'll call you and tell you about it later.
Well, now, sweetheart, you stay out and enjoy yourself.
Okay, we'll see.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, sport. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. How you?
Good.
Oh, listen, I went down to the library and I checked that book out that you were talking about, the one about Indians. It was great. It really was.
I know. I knew you'd like it. I tell you what, tomorrow afternoon we'll get together.
My father doesn't really like to be kept waiting, so good night, Eric. Well, we can always discuss tomorrow.
Okay.
Shall we?
Of course. Good night.
Oh, Eric, one bowl of ice cream.
Sure.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, Eric, you and Jeremy, you hit it off pretty well together, don't you?
Yeah, I guess so. Eric, come on, it's your move.
It's interesting.
I couldn't help it. I mean, what am I supposed to do? I come down here dressed like the cat's pajamas, and here's Nancy sitting on the couch like somebody's lost puppy dog. Well, we just got to talking, and one thing led to another. I mean, you know there's no love lost between Nancy and me. Well, before you knew it, I asked her to come with us.
Well, there goes a nice romantic evening I had planned.
Don't worry about it. We'll dump her off on somebody else when we get to the auction.
On who? We're the only ones talking to her in town. And after tonight, I don't think I'm going to talk to her.
No. Just think of it as a nice gesture, okay?
Hi. Do I look okay?
Well, you look real nice.
Really?
Yeah, really. Well, I guess we shouldn't put it off any longer. I mean, I guess we better be going because we don't want to be late.
Really. I don't want to miss a minute of this.
I talked to Courtney,
Yes, I know.
and you did too.
Yes?
Good. You realize you forced me to go over your head like that.
You did what you did of your own volition. The consequences are yours as well. Mr. Davidson, did you ever study history?
No. Why do you ask?
Hold on to your hat, Mr. Davidson. History has always been a passion of mine. You can learn a lot from it. Let me tell you a little story. In 1472, a ruler of Russia was named Ivan III. In fact, Ivan III, who later became known as Ivan the Great, made the Russian Empire what it is. Now, that is an oversimplification of fact, but then I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Oh, thanks.
Now, Russia was built by conquering a lot of little principalities. The ruler of one of these principalities was a young prince named Dmitri. Dmitri was ambitious. He had his eye on Ivan's throne. Are you still with me?
Barely.
Good, good. One day, Ivan went off with his army to conquer a principality. Dmitri heard about it, and he recognized an opportunity, So he gets his army, and he goes in to seize Ivan's throne, which was a lot easier to do without Ivan being around.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the question is, why didn't he leave someone to protect it?
Ah, we get to that in a minute. When Dmitri heard that Ivan was returning, he got all dressed up in the robes. He put the crown on, ready to receive him. He sent his army outside the city to stand by, just in case Ivan took being deposed like a spoil sport.
Well, obvious reaction.
Yes, very obvious. Well, Ivan walked into the room, and there stood Dmitri. Dobro utro, tovarich. He smiled like a spider watching a fly come into the web. But that smile vanished when he found out that the principality that Ivan had just conquered was his. And that Ivan's army was outside the city, surrounding Dmitri's army. The whole thing had been part of a beautifully orchestrated trap. Now, one of the morals that I like out of this story is that presumption is a dangerous thing. You presumed a great deal, Mr. Davidson.
About?
About my wife's care in Rose Hill. I have no intention of transferring her. You can't prove that I ever did. And Courtney has been made aware of your interference for what it is. She's very angry. I don't think she wants to see you anymore, Mr. Davidson.
I think you're lying to me.
Good. I invite you to find out for yourself.
I intend to.
Incidentally, Mr. Davidson, I recommend the study of history. It's fascinating.
That is the very one. Oh, yes, the same old people wearing the same old jewels and gowns. Let's do something different next time.
Yeah, gladly.
At last,
Carla!
the faces that I know. Do you know that someone thought I was with the press because I came in with my husband?
Oh.
I can believe that.
Why, thank
Yay.
Mr. Bradford, I'm Gene Redland with the Kingsley Chronicle, and I was wondering if I could get a statement from you about the Ashley Brown print. Now, how much do you suppose that'll run for in this auction today?
Daddy, do you mind if I just wander off for a minute and see Terry and Dave?
Go right ahead.
Hi, Miriam. Hi, I'm here. Isn't this all fun and exciting?
Well, it depends on your point of view, I guess.
Carla's discovering that some of Kingsley's elite can be less than gracious.
Well, yes, of course. I could have told you that. But, now, not to gossip or anything, but who in particular might you be referring to? Miriam.
That charming vampire over there.
Oh, yes. Well, that's Mrs. Hartwell, and we all know about her. So if she gives you any more problems, just ask her how Richard's doing. That's her son, right?
Uh-huh.
The one who was just indicted for embezzling from her company.
Oh.
Vernon, this is Charles Carpenter. Mr. Carpenter, Vernon Walcott.
How do you do?
My pleasure. And this, I presume, is the main attraction.
It certainly is.
Vicky, this is the Dar es Salaam Bible. Would you please take it backstage and have it secured?
I'll go with you.
And on behalf of the museum, I should like to thank you for being a very valiant custodian.
Not at all, Mr. Walcott. The pleasure was all mine, I can assure you.
Well, hello, handsome. Say, what are you doing tonight after the auction?
Well, now, Babs, you know I can never trust myself with you alone.
Hey, look, why don't you girls go on in there and grab a seat? I'll be right along in a minute, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Russ, look, I don't suppose I could talk you into changing your mind about this thing.
No, you don't suppose correctly.
Look, think sensibly about this, will you?
Look, Harold, I want that Bible. Now, I know the rumors about it. True, end of discussion, okay?
No, it's not. I just want to hear you say that you know that Bible might be worth nothing at all, and that you are making a financial decision that I heartily disapprove of.
I realize that. I absolve you of all responsibility.
What?
Okay?
All I gotta do is absolve myself.
However, I expect you to be the very first to apologize when it turns out that I'm right.
If you're right, and believe me, I hope you are, I'll be the very first to apologize to you.
Don't look now, but here comes our...
proceedings begin.
The bid stands at $6,700. $6,700 once, twice. Sold. Congratulations, partner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the last item to be bid upon this evening. If you'll turn to page 15 in your booklets, you'll find there described the Dar es Salaam Bible. I don't think it detracts from the other fine items we've seen this evening to say that this is what we've all been waiting for. It is being offered by Dr. David Phillips, and the proceeds will go to support the Chesterfield Free Clinic. Now, if everyone is ready, the bidding will begin at $25,000. I have $25,000. Do I hear a bid?